a bit warm outside, so no coffee, and just got back from the Lake District. Maybe a video coming soon, we'll see how it pans out. But the last two videos, Tuesday videos, did really better than anything else in a while. That's because it was around the Clicks drama. And the Click CEO did comment on my channel, but haven't really got any new information from last week, so I don't really want to drag that out. I'll release a new video when there's more information. And definitely when I do get the device, I'm planning on doing a hands-on, and then I'll try and do a proper review as well. I've got a couple of devices I want to use it with, so put it through its paces. The main thing I want to talk about really today is the inshittification of AI, computing, ownership of your own technology, everything. And regardless of what you think about AI, it's here to stay, and it's got an impact on pretty much everything if you're into tech. We've got Apple talking about potential price increases due to the cost of RAM now. I'm sure that means other smartphone vendors will do the same thing. Where Apple goes, everyone else follows suit. We've got the fact that GPUs now cost crazy amount of money. General, just PC hardware, if you want to replace your machine, significantly more expensive than before. And then up until recently, you had fairly open access to AI models across the spectrum at reasonable price points, if not free most of the time. And as an example, the main backbone of me trying to process text to, take off some of the load of doing descriptions and stuff for these videos, or helping me do research for where to go do photography trips, or even help provide a reason for my purchases, standard stuff you use it for. It's all getting knocked on the head quite a bit. My take on AI really is it's a bit of a force multiplier really for your hobbies or your learning, or if you want to do something yourself, you can use it to get to where you want to be quicker than reading through Google results. You still need to go away and do your own research, but it will help narrow down where you need to go, and it might even provide you specific steps or code to put in something, or it might help you troubleshoot configuration steps in software or other things, or your camera, for example. It might help you navigate through the menus. It might make the menus up, of course, as well. That is a possibility, and I've seen that happen myself. And the main tool of choice that I use at the moment, I did use Gemini for a while, Google's solution. That was part of a Google One subscription, which was, I think, supposed to be £19 a month, but it was half price for a year, and you got 2 terabytes of storage with it. When that ended, I cancelled that and went back down to just paying for the storage, which gets you basic Gemini access, which we'll get onto in a minute. But I have something called Revolut Metal, which in the UK at least, and you get access to a bunch of other subscription services like NordVPN, required if you're in the UK these days. It gives you access to things like Uber One for ordering food and other things, and it also gives you access to Perplexity. Now, Perplexity's model was you pay them money, and then you get access to your choice of models. Gemini, was Grok for a while, that got removed. Claude, ChatGPT, Kimi, they've got their own thing called Sonar. And I noticed the other week that it was stopping doing image editing. I use it sometimes to put text on things just quickly, to either to mock things up or stuff like that, if I want to have a nicer looking text on an image. I noticed that after you generated one image, it wouldn't generate any more. So that's a bit strange. And it started talking about region, image creation is locked in this region. Then the next thing you notice, you're typing away, all of a sudden you get a message at the bottom of your screen. And it says, this, I guess, your last query this week, we're using advanced models. So now, some people say that it was supposed to be like 200 queries. It's nowhere near that amount, at least for my thing. And I'm wondering if, I saw a comment about some speculation that if you have Perplexity through a partner like Revolut Metal, pro users are spending like $18 a month on this. Metal's like 10 to 15 pounds a month, and they've got access to tons of subscriptions, so clearly they're getting a lot less money through the partners. So there's an additional usage limit, so even though you have Pro, you don't really have Pro, you have a lower limit than other people. So then straight away it's like, well, you could use the other solutions. However, Google have now started adding computational limits, and there's a 5-hour window, there's a max amount you can use in a 5-hour window, and you have a weekly limit as well. So straight away, everyone's starting to limit the amount of access that you have to AI. And for me, the reason I have a minor problem with that is these large language models allow normal people to get access to a broad amount of knowledge and information. So if it starts getting gate kept, or you all of a sudden it's going to be the new Google. You're going to want to know information, so you'll go to a large language model. Oh, Merlin, you banged your head. That was pretty loud. You all right, buddy? Okay. But anyway, it's going to become the new Google, isn't it? You're going to go to a large language model, which is going to then scrape some search engines, and it's going to give you the best result. And you're going to have to hope as well that what if you're a free model, you can see a solution, similar to advertisers, which you use like adverts for watching TV, adverts for YouTube to pay for that. You could see a world where they add adverts into your AI queries. I don't know why they haven't already done this. You could see them. Google's going to do it, where you could pay money to basically change your results in the AI ranking. So I don't know, is that the way it's going? So I thought what I'd do as a little experiment, I thought I'd try and run AI myself at home to see how bad it is. Because this is the thing, if they're going to start limiting how good the tools are for us by, they have access to the hardware, the software, the everything, all the machines which have all the basic power, they've got everything. Is there anything we could do at home to try and get our own AI models going so we have access to it where we're not limited? So I have a machine upstairs, it's running TrueNAS, and it's got a 3770K in it with 64 gigs of RAM, and it didn't used to have a GPU, but I had a failed hard drive, so when I reinstalled the new hard drive, I also put in a GTX 1080, which is a GPU that I had lying around, which was from my previous gaming PC, actually from one a while ago. I just held it. So that's got 8 gigabytes of VRAM. So 8 gigabytes of VRAM lets you run a few different models. There's a couple of Llama models that'll fit into it. There's a Gemma model. There's also DeepSeek, although you don't ask DeepSeek the wrong questions, you might get put on a no-fly list to China. And it was actually pretty easy to set up. So I just used a Docker container and I used Open Web UI. I actually got Perplexity's Sonar model to explain the installation steps and create the Docker Compose. So I use a software called Dockage to manage my Docker Compose setups. And it was okay, and then I had to install the NVIDIA drivers. I did run into a problem. So if you are trying to run your own home AI, GPU prices are insane. So you might be running it on older hardware. So if I wanted to use CUDA with Llama, well, I needed to be on an NVIDIA driver past 570. So to do that, I had to update my TrueNAS install. When I did that, all of a sudden, the new version that TrueNAS moved to on the NVIDIA drivers didn't support Pascal cards 1080s and below. So then I had to move, but luckily I still had access to Sonar, and this is the thing now, I would have used Google and I would have gone through a bunch of community posts and Reddit threads and would have figured it out. Sonar managed to transpose it together for me, figure out, okay, yeah, there's a chance that you'll probably get access to it, it might break something in the future. I'll accept that risk. Installed it, away we go. So now we've got CUDA running in the Llama container in Docker after a little bit of troubleshooting. And the thing is, it's okay, but it's clearly not working correctly. You can get some of the models to interact with search, so you add in another search provider. So you run, so what have I got running? Sear XNG is what I'm using. Searching, I guess, is probably how you pronounce it. So I'm running that, and the models can access it, but then they can't process the results sometimes. And this is the next problem. I then learn some of these models, they've not got as many parameters as the new ones. If it spills out of VRAM, then it's significantly slower. So let's just try something just for a bit of fun. Let's just see how bad it is. So, and we'll do it in real time. So what I'm going to do actually, so on the right hand side, we're going to have the logs essentially for what's happening inside the containers. So you can see that I've logged in there. And on the left hand side, we've got the model, which is, we're going to use Gemma. And now this is the thing, so Gemma seems to have better responses. Now I was using, if we see if the drop down list. So Qwen 2.5 Coda, that doesn't process the search results at all. That's annoying. DeepSeek, just China, a bit too China for my liking. Llama was okay, but didn't properly respect the search results either. Mistral Nemo is too big to fit in the GPU, and yeah, that's that. So we're left with Gemma 9B. So let's ask something pretty straightforward. So I am thinking of buying a Nikon ZR. How can I convince my wife that it is the best thing for my YouTube channel. And then, yeah, let's go. So it's probably going to search the web. So let's have a see what happens on the logs here. Of course, it's error. Searching Wikidata timeout. So there's some sort of warnings in the search thing about timing out. HTTP REST timeout. Index list out of range. It's fetching pages apparently, and then on the left hand side you can see there's no sources found. So it went in. It did actually get a bunch of stuff, and then it failed, or at least it failed to pass it to the model, which is kind of annoying. So now the model's gone away and doing a bunch of try. So actually, from start to finish, that loaded the model into the VRAM of the GPU and provided an answer. So let's have a see what it does. You're going to need more than just saying it's the best thing. So look at reviews, compare the prices. Yeah. So give me the specs of the Nikon. So I don't know how old this model's data is. So a lot of these ones got confused. So I asked them about an election result in 2026, and they said 2026 hasn't happened yet. It's 2023, and it's searching for specifications. Excuse me. And then, but he's having problems, so the alarm is it's like unknown markdown header text splitter. So it searches 10 sites, then it says no source to find. So we find a bunch of stuff, passes between the two, but it's clearly broken. So I'm going to need to spend some additional time trying to figure this out. You're likely thinking about the Nikon Z30. There isn't a model called ZR. So this is the problem with trying to host it yourself. All of a sudden, I've managed to get it working. It is doing something, and it's found some. It's got some information in its knowledge base about the Z30, but it doesn't understand what the ZR is. So it's problem after problem. And you can see here, it's even though it's using VRAM, it's using a little bit of CPU, not that much, but it's nowhere near as good as using a proper model. It doesn't also seem to like think. None of these models have like a thinking mode. So, and you have to do a lot of the newer tools. The companies doing it have spent a significant amount of time building. Like I think Claude has multiple versions of itself running, and some of the versions have things like where it's trying to understand the query better, whereas some of these older ones, they just make an assumption and just go with it, and they try and be confident, but it's not always right. But yeah, so that's my experience running a local AI model, and the experience is that it's not very good. It will take a significant amount of extra work to make it actually usable. So I'm going to keep at that. There is a PewDiePie, of all people. You wouldn't expect this, but PewDiePie is like the modern, he's de-Googled himself. He's built his own, I think he's gone off Windows, he's onto Linux, he's doing all sorts of work. It's stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think that PewDiePie would be doing, but he's going all in on that kind of stuff, which is really interesting. But he made something called Odysseus, I think it's called, so I might look into that. If you're interested in me trying that or going further with this at home AI models, and this is what you're interested in, drop a message just to let me know, give me the signal that you wanted me to talk about it. But yeah, I'm going to call this episode now, just to let you know there are a few things coming on the channel. I've just got back from the Lake District, I've taken a bunch of pictures, bunch of video, thinking of putting that together as an episode. LumaFusion has just updated to version 2.7, so I'm going to be putting that through its paces. I'm really hoping they've made some progress in getting rid of the crashes and some of the issues with the stuttering on larger projects. I'm going to be trying to get that home AI server working better. I'll give you a rundown of whether I've made any progress. And yeah, other than that, there's other bits and pieces. Like I picked up a Nikon 40f2 lens. I want to go and do a bit more street, but I just need time. I've got too many projects on the go, and it's also very hot right now, so definitely not going to be taking the dog around any city centre anytime soon, because he's not going to manage it. Well, thank you very much for watching this episode. If you've got this far, please do hit the like button, the subscribe button. It helps the channel, and it's getting a bit warm in here, so thank you very much, and see you in the next episode.